These are the plaintiffs, Robin and Alan Belsky. Robin says she hired the defendant to design the room and centerpieces at her son's bar mitzvah. The woman got in way over her head, and she was practically brought to tears on the day of the big party. This lawsuit simply to teach her son when you're wronged, you go to court and fight for your rights. In fact, if they win, they'll donate the money to charity, because this is simply about principle and nothing more. They're suing for $5,000, the max allowed in New York State. This is the defendant, Yolanda LaGroove. She says this lawsuit's bogus, plain and simple. She went above and beyond for this family, did a terrific job, and has no idea why she's being sued, because the room was simply beautiful. She's accused of letting a kid down on his big day.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Robin and Alan Belsky, you are suing Yolanda LaGroove for $5,000. You say your damages exceed that state maximum for $5,000 because, according to you, she did not do her job at your son's bar mitzvah.
That's
what happened?
On October 2nd, my family entered into a contract agreement with Yoli to do centerpieces, flower arrangements for my son's bar mitzvah, which is like a wedding. We had planned this for a really super long time, and the point is my son had studied for a very, very long time.
And he studied because he has to read a... Go ahead, tell me that.
Yes, exactly. He actually has to read from the Torah, and it's actually his passage to manhood in the Jewish religion. So
he has to read not in English.
Correct.
Okay, and that's where the studying part comes in.
And that's the studying part, and it really gives you an idea of just how big this day was to my family, but in particular to my son. And I believe that Yoli understood that throughout the whole ordeal. We signed a contract in October to create, and what happens with bar mitzvahs is that today kids pick out themes. You can have any theme you want. My son loves Broadway shows, so we did a huge Broadway show theme. And it was supposed to be centerpieces. We were going to change the whole cocktail room, the ambience of Putnam National Golf Course, into 42nd Street, Times Square, billboards, smoke machines.
Did you have Harvey there or no?
Excuse me?
Never mind.
No, but I wanted to invite him. And so we wanted this, and Yoli and I worked throughout the whole year to create these centerpieces. And we had different carve-outs and pictures. We had vinyl banners, curtains, swags, chair swags, table flower arrangements, billboards, large billboards.
What is it you're reading from right now? I'd like to see that.
This is just notes that I took.
Oh, okay.
What's
what
in the
about the contract? Can I see the
all
contract?
the pieces that were on the contract.
So the first part, the yellow part, is the contract, and the second part is actually a description of the different centerpieces we were going to do for the tables.
Each centerpiece had a theme of a Broadway show. Wicked, Rent, Hair, Hairspray, Toxic Avenger, all Shay's favorite shows.
I missed that one, Toxic Avenger.
That's good.
We saw it 3 times.
And the total for this contract is $7,960.
That's correct.
Okay.
Right.
The cocktail hour decor will be a Times Square setting, streets of Manhattan, with streetlights, billboards, and steam pipes. Important features will be the incorporation of dry ice and props. Oh my gosh, this is the bar mitzvah to beat all bar mitzvahs.
I tried. We really wanted it. We were very clear on what we wanted for this. Well, what happened was on December 5th, so that's the day of the bar mitzvah, Yoli had to come and set this up. Unlike, when you do a lot of different affairs, typically you get a time slot. Lucky for us, Yoli was actually even able to get in there on Friday night and start setting up this production of Times Square. She came on Friday night. I didn't see her when she arrived. Vinny was there managing her.
Okay, I'm sorry. Who is Vinny to you?
He actually
He's the
is
catering
the catering director from Putnam National Golf Course.
For the site. Okay, got it.
Correct. And Yoli was able to get there on Friday night to set everything up. After the service, when it was over, I wanted to see how things were going. I come over at 10.
Wait. After the service was when? On Saturday?
Friday night, there's just a religious service.
Okay,
it's a small part of the bar mitzvah. Just on Friday night, I stopped by to see how everything's going. At 10:30, it's dark. I didn't know what was going on. I really wanted to peek in to see how everything was going, and everyone was gone. I thought, wow, this Yoli's great. She managed to get this whole room together. Wow, I would have thought she would have been here later. Next morning, we go through this bar mitzvah. My son was amazing.
The bar mitzvah, the actual ceremony part lasts from when to when?
Yes, and I have 200
guests.
From
when to when?
It starts at 8:30, and it ran till about 12 o'clock. So around 12 o'clock, we left, and I called up Vinny and to let him know that we're on the way, and he should start getting ready. Here we come. And he says, Robin, you have a problem. I said, what do you mean I have a problem? He said, Yoli just got here. I said, what do you mean Yoli just got there? He said, Yoli just got there and her stuff's all over the place. When I arrive now, I'm in the car, it's about 10 minutes away, there is Yoli and one guy with her starting at that point to put together centerpieces. They weren't prepared and coming out of a truck. She was mixing stuff to put out to the tables.
What do you mean mixing stuff?
She was making.
She was building her centerpieces outside in the snow to put on the tables.
You mean piece by piece?
Piece by piece.
Like 20 pieces, like she's putting a piece here, then she's installing
Yes.
something else there?
Yes.
That's correct.
That's correct. That's
This is
correct.
as all the guests are arriving, and already Vinny had to move all of her stuff from
Okay,
inside.
I want to hear from Vinny. Does Vinny have a last name?
Yes,
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Come on up. Let me switch with him a second. Okay, Mr. Chelsea, how are you?
Fine.
Talk to me. Tell me what happened. First of all, tell me what happened the night before.
The night before, we made arrangements to allow her to come in and do a lot of her setting up. She got the decorations on the walls. She got a lot of the decorating done.
But none of the
Centerpieces done at all.
All right, and then on that day, when you get a call from Mom saying, we're on our way, you realize that you need to tell her that she just got there what time?
Well, that's what really happened was that as soon as I arrived very early in the morning, when she said that she was going to come early in the morning and set up these centerpieces, I immediately got on the phone and called her. And I said, Yoli, where are you? You have to be here to set this stuff up. And she said she had some problems.
What time was that?
That was about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning because
You were expecting guests at 1.
and she had half of my cocktail room covered with all of this debris, boxes and sets and everything like that. That's where the people were coming for the cocktails.
And the cocktail was supposed to last how long?
An hour.
Okay, go on.
So I called her up and she said she had a problem with her son. He was injured, something like that, blah, 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 and I'll be there as soon as I can. I waited.
Had that just happened? Her son had been injured?
Well, according to her, it happened in the middle of the night, and she was in the emergency room all night with her son.
Okay. What happened?
He was ice skating at the rink, the local rink, and fell, and someone stepped on his hand with the...
How old's your son?
He's 16.
And what happened to him?
He had to be rushed to the hospital and had 72 stitches.
72 stitches?
Because it's too late. It went chopped, so they had to stitch
When did
inside.
that happen?
That happened around
10:30
10:30 that
night.
evening.
10:30
that evening. When it happened, I left Putnam Golf Course at around 10 o'clock or 10:30, around there, 10:30, and that's when I found out it happened. So I left the venue immediately. There were boxes and everything, but I tried to keep them.
Okay, so you went to the hospital.
Went to the
Did
hospital.
he have to stay in the hospital overnight or no?
No,
Okay, so you got the stitches. What time did you get home?
like
Sometime
3
in
in the
the
morning or whatever it
Okay.
was. But then I still had to deal with him and go back to the shop to finish up what I was doing.
But, this is a $7,900 contract. And
Correct.
I would imagine that you're not a one-man show. You have to have somebody who can help out in this regard.
Correct, and I did. I had, actually, it wasn't one person. I had 3 people with me. It was, that are usually with me at an event like this. And by the time that I got there,
What time did you get there?
around 11:30, somewhere around there.
Okay, but the party's at 1. That's really late to get there.
I was told the party was supposed to start at 2 o'clock. Even if,
Let's just say, okay, I'm gonna give you 2. Okay, if the party's at 2, you're gonna get there at 11:30? Like, isn't that really late to be building centerpieces when they hired you 2 months before? Like, why would you be building them on site like that?
well, they're huge centerpieces. They're 3 feet tall. So the main part of the centerpiece, which is the topper, those were all constructed. I had 2, it was my wagon. I have a
Did you bring a centerpiece
wagon.
to show me?
I
Did you
just
bring a
left
picture
it all.
of the centerpiece to
I
show
didn't.
me?
I didn't get to take a picture because I
there's a bone
usually.
of contention here right now about whether or not they were, as you're trying to describe it, they were 90% done, and I just had to build it. Or they're trying to describe it, which is, no, she's building them right there on site while guests were walking. There's a huge difference.
They didn't see me. I never saw Robin that day. I didn't see Robin at all that day. She
No, 'cause
called me on the phone.
I'm sure that for your safety, the men folks kept...
She called. She
I'm
called
sure
me.
the men's folk kept you away from her just as a matter of safety
I have a
for
good
you.
husband, Your Honor.
She called me on the phone. I didn't see her at all. I know that when I arrived there, all my stuff was outside. It was on a hill. It was
Hold
snowing.
that
around.
thought 1 second.
Okay.
You come on up, please. You tell me, when do you learn that there's a problem?
The bar mitzvah was over around 12:15, 12:30. I immediately jumped in the car to go home. To go to Putnam National. My wife went home to change into her party dress. And as I was driving there, Robin calls me and says, "Get over there, Yoli's not finished. Vinny just called me."
Okay.
And I stepped on the gas. It was only a couple miles. So I was there sometime between 12:30 and 12:45. I went inside. I saw Vinny. I looked inside the ballroom, and I saw that nothing had been done on the tables.
Okay.
I said,
By the way, was the rest of the ballroom decorated or no?
No.
The ballroom was supposed to have all the posters that we had ordered and contracted for was supposed to be hanging around the ballroom. Okay, there was supposed to be a big marquee banner with Shay's name on it, in lights, draped with curtains. Okay, none of that was done. The only things that were done, there's a picture you can see.
So what was done of what you hired her for? Just the cocktail room?
Just the cocktail room.
Can I show this to you? Let me just show you that.
Just this bottom picture.
Okay.
Okay, the bottom picture, you can see that she'd hung curtains draped across the ceiling. Okay, now you can also see in that picture the one table centerpiece.
Who's this?
That's me and my son.
Good.
But what I like about that picture is you could see the room from a different angle. There's
What I
nothing,
like about it is that you and your son are hugging each other.
You know what?
And you're
he
happy.
would love to have been here today, and I'm here today because he's such a tremendous child, and she broke my son's heart.
How did he react? How
loved-
did your son react?
You cannot imagine the pain, and that's why my husband kept me. He really liked Yoli. She made promises in emails. She knew exactly what he wanted. She went over the wicked. There was going to be an Elphaba. There was going to be a Galinda. There was going to be Toxic Avenger, Mary Poppins. She really worked with him. She came to my house 2 or 3 times. They had Halloween with me. We did pumpkin contest. This was going to be my friend. This was the fact that she did this to me is disgusting.
Okay, first of all, don't do that. Okay, because this isn't a psychotherapy session.
Sorry.
And second of all, you did hear the part about how her son got 72 stitches the night before, right?
You know
Not
what?
she went out and got drunk. Okay, that I understand. You've got your problem, but
Sure.
you do understand that she had a catastrophe in her life the night before too.
Yes.
Okay,
She had every
but when you
opportunity.
charge $7,900 on a contract, you better have a contingency plan. There better be a plan B. Because if you get into a car accident or something happens to you, there better be a plan B on this scale of event planning. Okay?
Your Honor.
Now, what's the video set for? Is there some video you want to show me?
Yes, it's just a statement from my son who couldn't be here
From
because
bar-
he's at
the
camp.
bar mitzvah
From
boy?
the bar mitzvah boy.
Ah, he deserves at least that
He
much. Come on,
does.
let's see it.
Can everyone see? Can everyone see?
On December 5th, I have bar mitzvah. Me, my mom, and Yoli started to work on my bar mitzvah the year beforehand to generate a Broadway Times Square theme with centerpieces, pictures, and flowers. But Yoli, you did nothing. You didn't bring in any centerpieces, no flowers, no pictures, and you left all your stuff everywhere along the Putnam County Golf Club. You ruined my bar mitzvah. You ruined my day.
And welcome back to People's Court. Harvey Levin here. What do you think about people who throw tens of thousands of dollars in parties or hundreds of thousands of dollars in a party for a kid?
That could be for their college tuition. That doesn't have to be specifically for their birthday
That's
party.
true. Is it stupid?
No,
No.
no, because if they can afford it, if it's in their budget, and they want to spend that on their kid for their bar mitzvah, I think they should be able to.
I like that you took a stand. What do you think?
In one word, ridiculous.
Okay, give me a better word, because I think it's so outrageous. I mean,
Charity.
who's it really for? Is it for the kid or is it for the parents?
To be a socialite, yeah.
There you go, going inside the courtroom.
You don't bring me a picture of the centerpieces. Did somebody else have a picture of the centerpieces? Yes or no?
No.
No. Oh, nobody has a picture of the centerpiece.
You know why I don't have pictures of the
Well,
centerpieces?
one possible reason is that they're not made.
Because they weren't set up. It's like a wedding cake. When you go to a wedding, it's a huge tier cake. It comes in pieces, and when you
Yes, it
arrive,
does, but it
it's
takes
assembled.
5 minutes to set that up, and the wedding cake person better be there before 11:30 for a 1 o'clock event. And that better be set up well in advance so that nobody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off freaking out, okay?
Well, under normal circumstances, I would do that. This was kind of a situation that I couldn't handle. Aside from that, there were a lot of extra things that needed to be done. She wanted more, so I continued to...
When did she want more? Answer my question.
Probably 2 weeks prior to
Okay,
the
so then
event.
that's irrelevant, isn't it? I'm still not understanding why you're not there at 8:30 like you should be, or 9 or 9:30, okay? Or even 10. How is it you show up
Because the budget didn't allow more staff.
And now we get down to the nitty-gritty.
The budget didn't allow more
The
staff.
budget didn't allow more staff.
Correct.
You felt that $7,900 and something wasn't enough profit margin for you to not ruin the bar mitzvah.
That's not what she wanted. She wanted original playbills. She wanted like 5 in each centerpiece. Each playbill cost $10.
She's not suing you for not having original playbills in the centerpieces that were made.
She didn't want to see them without
She's suing
it.
you because she got to her son's bar mitzvah and you are in the snow attempting to make centerpieces.
You know, Your Honor, honestly, I understand, but I could have gotten it done. They asked me to leave, and I could have gotten it done. And if it was, and honestly, there was
Can I
still...
just tell you something? In my house, it would have worked exactly the same way. My husband would have told her to leave for her own safety, because if I'd gotten to my son's bar mitzvah, I don't even have a son, and you're making centerpieces when the guests are arriving, I don't want to hear about how well you work under pressure.
The bar mitzvah ended
I don't want to
early.
work under pressure. I paid you $7,900 to not work under pressure. I don't want you at the bar mitzvah. Fíjate. I don't even want you at the bar mitzvah, right? And so here you are, not just at it, but still putting together stuff and freaking them out. And you think that I'm going to accept as a reason the profit margin just wasn't enough to hire other people. Correct. If you live to be 100, you couldn't have come up with a worse answer than what you just said. Because what it basically says is, little boy, I really don't care about your bar mitzvah. I care about my profit margin. So if your guests have to sit down at a table that doesn't have a centerpiece and wait until I'm good and ready to get it there because I'm too cheap to hire a few more people to help me to build it, then that's on you, pal. That's really what you just said.
I didn't.
I'm not telling you. If you're done, you're cooked.
Okay.
Cooked. Okay? Cooked. All right. There is some work that she did, and that some work is covered by the amount that you are not suing for because you're capped in small claims, the entire $5,000 verdict for the plaintiff.
Just hold on right there.
All right, so the defendant comes out on the losing end of a $5,000 verdict. What's your reaction to that?
I have no reaction. There was no pleasing her. That's it.
One of those customers that was unpleasable?
Totally unpleasable.
Why, you think you did enough to please her?
I did.
Did you bite off more than you could chew in this job?
Not at all.
No?
I've done events bigger than that.
Okay. All right, you head right down this way. All right, so come on out here. Let's see what the plaintiff side has to say about this. You win everything you sued for. What's your feeling here?
My feeling is I just feel relieved it's over, and I feel that my son really will be proud of his mom and dad for just getting what was the right thing.
Hey,
I'm glad it's over.
You said you were going to donate your winnings to charity if you won the case. You still going to do that?
Part of a bar mitzvah is actually a charitable. It's acknowledgement to become a man, and they do mitzvah projects. What he did on his bar mitzvah, I am confident that he will give that money to the charity. I made that announcement that night when I was upset in front of my guests.
All right, good luck. All right, Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether you have a good excuse for not performing under a contract. If you don't perform, you're responsible, and her notion of the profit margin is insane. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.